January 4th, 2009 is a day that Levi Alsop and his family will never forget. Levi's parents were at this church for a meeting.
And he said, "Dad, can I have the keys to the high school room?" I said, "Yeah." I gave him the keys, and all the kids went up there to play foosball and ping pong and just hang out. Kids on the inside was keeping the door shut. They was pushing and laughing. You know how kids do.
They had locked Levi and some other kids out. But Levi had a plan. He had the master key and decided to get to the high school room by going through several closets.
But when he went into that closet that was there, he stepped into there and it was dark.
There was no flooring by the AC unit, and Levi fell straight through, 20 feet into the sanctuary below.
I ran in there, helped him get up, and then called the ambulance from there.
The ambulance was on its way. Levi looked relatively normal, but internally, something felt wrong.
He was in quite a bit of pain. So we were asking him, "Son, where are you hurting?" And he kept pointing to his stomach area, upper stomach area. Just
by the look in his face, and I just knew within myself that something bad had happened.
The EMTs took him to the hospital in Gainesville, Georgia, for x-rays and CAT scans.
They wouldn't allow me in the back of the ambulance with him. I had to sit in the front. I could see him every now and then turning him on his side, and I just felt so helpless.
The main doctor, the trauma surgeon there, came in there and said, "We gotta get your son out of the hospital." And I was like, I just didn't get that. What do you mean you have to get him out of the hospital? He said, "We can't help your son here."
Levi was life-flighted to Grady Memorial in Atlanta.
And Dr. Nicholas sat down beside us and he said that he had been at Grady for 25 years. He said he never seen something like this happen. He told me, he said, your son, Levi, his stomach burst open like a balloon. And he said, "You know, this is very serious. He's gonna have a lot of problems in a long road." He said, "If we can keep Levi alive for if we can keep him alive for the first 24 hours, we'll worry about the next day when he gets here."
After his surgery, Levi was unconscious, hanging on day by day. A week later, he still hadn't improved, and Dr. Nicholas pulled the parents aside.
He told me my son's organs were dying. He said, "If we don't get this fixed," he said, "he won't live to see tomorrow." Dr. Nicholas pulled back the sheet and he showed me, and Levi's stomach was open. The only thing they had on Levi was cellophane. It was like a clear cellophane that was on him. And all you could see was just black.
You couldn't see, anything really, what was any internal organs.
It was losing oxygen and blood flow. That's what he explained to me. And he said, "If we can't stop this," he said, "there's nothing I can do."
Levi's parents and their friends had been praying from the beginning.
And we all got on our knees, everybody that was in there. We started asking the Lord to help us, to guide the doctors and to help us understand what we're getting into.
We need a miracle. Called everybody I could think of. Of course, hit our knees, praying, asking God for that miracle to happen.
When we went back to the room that night, I opened my Bible to Isaiah 53, 5th verse. And I read that scripture, that one verse, for hours, where it says, "By his blood, by his stripes we were healed."
The next morning, the doctor had another report.
He grabbed the sheet, pulled it back, and he looked at me and looked back at Levi. He said, "I don't know what y'all doing or who you got in touch with." He said, "But keep it up." And I looked down, and I could see Levi's intestines, his organs, his liver, everything was pink and bloody red. It was flowing like a... Oh man, it was one of that moments that I could have shouted. But I give Dr. Nicholas a hug. He probably thought I was a little crazy, but I couldn't help it. I had to hug somebody.
So we got our miracle. We got our healing. from that point on, things turned around and things started getting better.
Later, after Levi woke up, he says he had a visitor in his room.
And I seen this face appear to me. And it was God. And I knew it was. And I couldn't really talk or nothing. And he just looked at me and said, "Son, you're gonna be okay."
Dr. Moore took care of Levi after he got back from Grady.
He had a rupture of the spleen. He could have bled to death by the time he got to the hospital. He had a rupture of the stomach. That could lead to life-threatening infections, fractures here and there. So there was a lot of miracles going on.
And how does Levi feel about all those people who prayed for him?
I feel loved, and just appreciate it every day. Because I wouldn't be here without the prayers. And I wouldn't be here without God.